Okay friends, welcome back to the channel. So this is what I got today. Alright, I got a hot knife. And this is what it looks like. This is what a hot knife is. Once it's warm enough, it cuts through pretty much like butter, like that. And this is lefty. So what you do is you set the dial to where you want it. And I got it at the number 5 because it needs the power to be able to cut through styrofoam. You press the button like this, and you just hold it there till this gets warm enough. It does take a little while. It takes a little while, and what I mean by a little while is a couple of minutes if it's been cold. But if you've been using it, and then you put it on the stand. This is a stand for it, by the way. So put it on a stand, on a table. Then you can also use it to scrape away the residual plastics or things that are melted on it, because it will melt stuff. And it does smell a little bit once you start melting the styrofoam or whatever you're melting. So you want to have decent ventilation. Open the garage door, get some air in there. So this is what it looks like in the box. And there's an adjustable. This is adjustable, this thing right here. It's hot now, see it's starting to smoke, so I might as well show you how it cuts. Okay. Adjust the camera. Okay, so now that it's cooled off, since I've had to readjust the camera, see the stand looks like this on the table. Looks like that. See that? And then after it's warmed up a little bit, you can scrape the plastics off of it. Remember, this is adjustable, so I can make this go further, go forward or back. But this does get hot, so that's why I'm wearing gloves, just so in case I accidentally touch it. But the settings, they're all rated to a specific amount of heat. So the 1 is like 200 some degrees, the 5 is like 800 some degrees. I wanted to show you the temperature, how it corresponds to the dial. So each dial has a temperature. Number 1 is 212 degrees and number 5 is like 842 degrees. And I got a couple of pieces here for demonstration. And I'm going to use my left hand because it's going to be easier for you to see how I'm cutting it. And once it's warm enough, it cuts through pretty much like butter, like that. And this is lefty. A little bit crooked on the left hand cut. Alright, so gives it a clean, it's a little crooked because it's left-handed, but it gives it a clean edge and you don't see a lot of the white little things floating around. I'll try the big one now. Cuts through like butter. Yeah, I mean it does smell, so make sure you get ventilation. But it does make quick work of it. Okay, and this one here. So probably wondering, why am I using this? Well, I'm doing some insulating, and so we're going in winter. Best to do some insulating. Now I can do a better cut with my right hand, just that I'm using left hand for demonstration purposes. See, there's a very thin part I got to remove here. So, go ahead and try to sight it. You press the button, keep the heat on, and then just sort of let it do its thing as it's melting, as it's going down. And it easily trims it. But then again, that's a left-handed cut, and I can do a much better job with my right hand. Let me try a right hand. I'll kind of show you what I mean. So right hand cut. I'm standing behind the camera here. Right hand, I can see it better. It's cutting a lot smoother now. And I'm not trying to force the movement downwards, I'm just letting the heat. I am helping it a little bit. There, so it's much cleaner cut. And it's a lot faster than, see, when you let go of the button, it starts to cool down. In the meantime, you can use it to sort of scrape off the excess so it doesn't build up. So that's done. But yeah, this got this from my local hardware store. It's a tool shop, and it was relatively inexpensive. It's like 20 bucks. It saves a lot more time than if I were to use an X-Acto knife. Doesn't cut as easily. Not as smelly, but it's a lot messier. You get all these little crumbs floating around. So I had to cut a bunch of this stuff, so I knew I needed something that would help make the cutting a lot faster. So that's where the hot knife really does help. If you can find one and you need to use a hot knife, you've never used them before, they do work. This is my first time using it. I just decided, hey, why am I using my old way of trying to cut styrofoam? I'll show you my other way of using. I just try to find anything that would work. Use a knife, use a hacksaw, but it leaves a bunch of crumbs. So the hot knife really does give you a much cleaner edge. Look at that, just a much cleaner edge. If you need to insulate your garage door with some panels, cut them to the correct size. It's a lot easier with a hot knife. You're basically melt cutting, you know? So you just gotta figure out what setting does it work really well. And the number 8 works the best, or the number 5, which is 800 degrees, works the best for this. This is a stand. See, the stand actually is flat. It's completely flat, and you gotta pull this up to make it look like this. As I was looking at it, I was wondering, I mean, this was a flat piece, you know? I was like, what is this thing for? Because it doesn't give you any guidance or instruction on what this actually is. So it was flat, like, I don't want, now if I bend it again, I'm gonna weaken the metal. It's gonna be like a paper clip getting bent back and forth. But it was just, this part was folded flat. And then I just basically peeled it back, and now it's a stand. Stand like this, you know? So, that's it. Have a great day.